Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. I am super excited to be talking about some amazing 2018 books. It is going to be such a wonderful year for books for kids. Let's go, let's get started. This is going to be fun. It has been a bit of a crazy week at school this week. We had Monday off for a holiday. The rest of the days it has just rained and rained and rained and rained. So the kids have been all cooped up. We've had indoor recess every day until now. The kids are finally outside, and boy, did they ever need to get outside. And boy, did I ever need my class back during recess. It's so calm in here and quiet and wonderful. Well, I am so glad that you are here. It has been a crazy week, and I'm just excited to tell you about some amazing, wonderful books for kids that I'm really, truly excited about. The first one that I want to talk about, I just finished. I actually read it at the beginning of recess so I could say that I finished it and talk about it in this video. That book is Payback on Poplar Lane. It is by Margaret Minix, and it was so fun. Basically, we have these two kids, and the boy wants to start a business, and he's like super business person, definitely reminded me a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk, if he liked to read, would love this book, but Gary Vaynerchuk doesn't like to read. He just likes to make books, and I'm a big Gary Vaynerchuk fan. As you can see, I have a Gary Vaynerchuk t-shirt on. Two kids, and they come together at the beginning. Rachel is going to work for Peter as an intern, and Peter is like the worst boss, but he loves business and he thinks he's this wonderful boss, but really he's awful and terrible, and she gets fired for no reason, and it's terrible and unfair. But it is what it is, and she decides she's going to get revenge and start her own business, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. If you like The Lemonade Wars, or you know kids who like The Lemonade Wars by Jacqueline Davies, they would also love this book very much. And they go back and forth, and there's some really great lessons learned in this book. It is a really wonderful book. I think that kids are really going to like it. I like that the short chapters. I like that it goes back and forth from one character's point of view to the other, and there's also like a third layer, which is a story that Rachel is writing. It's really, really good. Some really valuable lessons in this book. I think kids are going to really, really like it. I don't know if it's a series, but it should be a series because it's great. It comes out February 2018, so it should already be out. Check it out. It's really, really good. The next book that I want to show you this book is The Unicorn Quest by Camilla Benko. I've talked about this book on the channel before. It's a great series. Kids are going to love it. These two sisters, it's just magical. But we read the arc in class when it came out, and you can see they made some changes, they put a sticker over it. But the final book, I got the final book, and I don't know if the camera will do it justice, but it's gorgeous. It's embossed, and it's so beautiful. You can see the difference in the two spines, and it's got this awesome unicorn right here on the case. Beautiful stamp. It's a great book. You should check this book out. Any book that I'm talking about in this video, you can find in the description below in case you want to order it or pre-order it or add it to your to-read list. Two books that I got in the mail yesterday that I am super stoked about. Super stoked. Number one, the covers are crazy awesome, but also the stories look fantastic. All Unbound by Aisha Saeed. And so one thing that I do anytime I get an advanced reader copy of a book is I look at the cover, I look at the author, and then I go to the back to see what they're talking about on the back. And on the back here, Lori Halls Anderson and Jacqueline Woodson blurbed this book. And they said good things about it. So if those two were blurbing this book, you can take it to the bank. This is going to be great. I'm really stoked to read it. It comes out in May. And Marcus Vega Doesn't Speak Spanish by Pablo Cartaya. I loved his first book. I thought it was absolutely awesome. The Epic Fall of Arturo Zamora. That was one of my very favorite books. I think it was last year. I get my years mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it was 2017. I loved that book so much. It was one of my favorite books. I love the setting. I love the characters. The family was amazing. So I can't wait to go back into this world. But aren't these covers gorgeous? These were in the same box. Look at that. This one comes out in August. This one comes out in May. Aren't they just beautiful? Look at that. Okay. Oh, I want to talk about a nonfiction book, Made for Each Other: Why Dogs and People Are Perfect Partners. This book is a beautifully designed book. It is written by Dorothy Hinshaw Patent, photographs by William Munoz, and I just loved it. Like, my students have loved it. I think 5 or 6 kids. Look at the end papers, seriously. Look at that. Look at that. And then you have all of these beautiful pictures and text features throughout the book. You learn about the history of dogs. You learn all kinds of, like, dogs and wolves. So much good stuff. My favorite part, the coolest dog, the greatest dog in the history of the world. Love of Xena, if you're watching, don't take this personal because I know you've had some good dogs in your life. But this dog, and you've read this book, so you know, Margie, you know what I'm talking about. Chaser, it's the coolest story ever. It's the coolest story ever, and I want to tell you a little bit about the story, but I don't want to give it away because you need to read this book. But basically, this dog could knew the name of 1,000 different stuffed animals. That's insane. It was amazing. It's just such a cool, I love this. I love this. It's so interesting. This is how to book talk this book to my students. I just tell them about this dog and they all want to read it. It's so good. All right. In class yesterday, we read What If? It is by Samantha Berger and illustrated by Mike Corrado. This book, guys, this is going to be the book. This is the book that every classroom in America needs, every library in America needs, every art class in America must have this, or it's like criminal. This book is amazing, and it is all about what if we don't have the things to create that we want to create with, and then we'll create with this. But then what if we lose that? Can we still create? And it is such a beautiful story about the importance of creativity and how we can always create as long as we have a mind and a heart. I think that this book belongs in the same conversation as Peter Reynolds' The Dot, in terms of a book that we need to celebrate, and we need to have a What If Day, International What. We need to do something for this. Oh, it matches my shirt. But this is a book that educators need to just go crazy with and find a way to celebrate this book, to honor students, to honor creativity, to get kids excited about making. I read it to both of my classes yesterday, and it was awesome. Absolute must-read picture book of 2018. I don't even know when it comes out. That was so mean of me. I don't even know when this book comes out. Sorry. 2018, I know. I don't know. Little Brown, if you're watching, good job. Beautiful book. I don't know when it comes out. Speaking of Little Brown books for young readers, the Creativity Project comes out in a couple of weeks. I just keep staring. I just keep staring at the case. Like, look at that. And then look at that. But I've had some fun with this. I've talked to a bunch of the creators this week on the phone, and it's been a crazy journey, and I'm excited for this book to get into the world. One thing we're doing at my school for the Creativity Project, let me show you, I'll be back in like less than 2 seconds. 1,000, told you, super quick, is we're doing the Creativity Project in class. One of our teachers, Mrs. Woolworth, who is a dear friend, an amazing person, she went through the Creativity Project. She pulled out some different prompts for each grade, and in this envelope, I have 6 prompts for my students. We're going to create our own creativity project. So they're going to take prompts from the book, and they're going to get to pick which one they want to respond to. And just like in the creativity project, I'm going to give them a certain amount of pages, and they can make whatever they want. They can write a story, they can illustrate a story, they can create a comic, they can draw a picture, whatever they want. And we're going to have a class book for every class in the entire school. And we're going to put them in our library. And then every single kid will be in our classroom, in our school library, which is awesome because this book is dedicated to the students of Parma Elementary, and I do truly want them to dream big. So I'm excited for this to enter our school library. The next book that I want to talk about, I think the final book that I want to talk about is I Am Loved. It's a book of poems by Nikki Giovanni, and it's illustrated by Caldecott honor winner Ashley Bryan. I read a bunch of these poems, almost all of them, to my students this morning, and it's just gorgeous. Look at these illustrations. This book quilts. It is all about aging and celebrating aging. It was stunning. And I don't know if the kids got the same thing out of it as I did, but I was floored by this poem. So that is I Am Loved. I would love to know what you're reading. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, whether you're watching live or you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot to me. But I want to know down in the comments below, what are you reading? What are you excited to read? What books are captivating you and your students or your family members? Please, please, please let me know. There's so many great books out there, and the only way we're going to get to know them is if we continue to share those books with each other. If you have a book, it is almost that you love, and you just don't you feel like you have to share it? I was giving a book talk yesterday to a boy who was struggling to find a book, and another kid cut me off. I was like, Mr. Sharp, no, I have the perfect book for him. He has to read this book. He will love this book. And so I stepped back and I let him give a book talk, and he crushed the book talk. And that kid was like, just left me in the dust, which is exactly what we want. We want them to become independent of us. And he read that book, and I actually saw him today in math class reading that book during math class. So always fun to see kids recommending books to each other. So let me know down below, what books are you reading? What books are your students reading? What books are you excited to read as the year progresses? Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. If you want to buy any of these books, check out the description below. You can write down those titles. Thanks for being awesome. Have a great day, and happy